Have you ever looked in the mirror and suddenly thought, when did this happen? You still feel young inside, but the mirror is clearly having a different opinion. For most of my life, I believed something comforting. I believe that getting older makes us wiser, calmer, and happier. I imagine that with the age we become more patient, more peaceful, less reactive, and maybe even a little wiser. I imagine the ego is slowly disappearing and gratitude quietly replacing it. But then I crossed into my 50s and I noticed something surprising, not just in myself, but in many people around me. People who had survived careers, raising children, financial problems and stresses, responsibilities, and decades of life. You would think they should now be relaxed, calm, peaceful, enjoying life. But instead, many of them seemed grumpy. Some were bitter. Some looked permanently disappointed with the world. And I started asking myself a simple question: why? Isn't the second half of life supposed to be easier? After all, the first half of life is exhausting. Think about it. We spend decades dealing with education, jobs, relationships, raising children, bills, responsibilities, and trying to look successful while secretly being confused. So logically, once all that pressure is behind us, life should become lighter, more peaceful, more meaningful, right? But reality doesn't always follow our expectations. That question stayed with me for years, and it eventually led me to write this book, How to Live a Happier Life After 50. This book is not a rule book, it is not a lecture, and it is definitely not a list of strict instructions. This book is a conversation about what really happens after 50, when the body starts sending new messages. Society starts looking at you differently, and you prioritize quietly, and your priorities begin to change. It talks about the unexpected thoughts and unexpected emotions that appear later in life. Some are funny, some are frustrating, some are deeply meaningful. Inside the book, I share practical tools that I personally use. Simple things that help me stay organized, calm, active, and emotionally balanced. Nothing complicated. Just real life methods that work. Because life after 50 is a fascinating stage. Time moves faster, memories become clearer, and suddenly meaning becomes more important than achievement. Many people fear aging, but in truth, this stage can become one of the richest chapters of life. If we learn how to understand it, this book is simply a comparison of the journey, honest, practical, sometimes reflective, sometimes humorous, but always human. If this topic resonates with you, you can find my book, How to Live a Happier Life After 50, on Amazon and in the link below. Thank you for watching.